Hello, everyone. Hey. Full transparency. I was having an insanely intense dream where when my alarm went off, I ended up just making it part of the dream. And then I snoozed, evidently, for over an hour. So this was wet 5 minutes ago. I apologize. That is crazy. But I didn't want to skip my health stuff either and just like run onto the live. How is everyone? I hope you are enjoying your weekend. Hi, Juan Lee. That's an unexpected surprise. Thank you. And I have Anya and Little John and hey, James, long time no see. Maricela, Jessica. Hi, Jessica and Shorty. I love how you guys... Hi, Adva. I sent you an email yesterday. Monique, I sent you an email too. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, love bugs. Hi, Tanya. So, yes, Lee is a tea girly. I have to make her some more chai concentrate. We make the good stuff at home. We make the real concentrate with all the whole spices. It's funny. So, happy new moon. Happy Mercury is, well, it's out of retrograde. It's direct, but it's still kind of shadowy. And you know, it's funny. It's the new moon. I am a Virgo rising. And the last 2 days, I kept feeling like the real estate between here and here. So when you're a Virgo rising, you will more likely have like a longer face. And if you look, I hate doing this because I hate the side of my face, but I have a lot of real estate from the bottom of my eye to my chin, like a lot. So they'll tend to have longer faces. Sometimes people say Mercury-ridden, Mercury-ruled people can get larger foreheads. But specifically Virgo, if you are a Virgo rising and you feel like my face looks extra long, welcome to having a new Virgo moon. Obviously, however the lighting is or whatever, you know, it's funny that way because astrology also denotes our physicality and some of the ways that we look. So it's hilarious to me that sometimes we can have also things show up for us just for transits even. So Leo was right. When it went direct on my Leo Venus, right? And my hair is crazy big and feels like it grew 2 inches. And then new moon right on my ascendant, right on my Pluto, and I feel like my face is super long today. So the transits can show up on our bodies, on our faces, of course, when stuff's going through your first house. I just wanted to share that. So if you feel like all of a sudden you feel different or you look different, when we have transits going through certain parts of our houses or in certain signs, absolutely, you're not crazy. Okay, so good morning, Valencia. Okay, so let's start. We're going to do, yesterday was absolutely, I can't even tell you. So we started, Lee and I are doing it together. It's called Evolutionary Goods. I now have a little Etsy store. I'm going to get my Oracle and my tarot cards up there. But I don't have it on me. I'll wear it next week. But we have hats, shirts, whatever. I got one of the hats when I was telling Connie Jo months ago that I was going to do this. She said, I want a shirt that says Black Lilith is my best friend in her little warm peach pie voice. And I thought, well, let's make fun astrological things that you can't find as easily. So anyway, so I was like, well, what if we said something like Black Lilith is my bestie, plan accordingly. So that's what we ended up. So I'm designing the graphics because I love to do that. And I do virtual empowerment for other people. So we've been busy putting the Etsy store up. Oh, thanks, Lee. And we have the moon planners in there. So what's really interesting is you guys should be taking notes when you have things that are going on that feel different during certain transits. Hey, Adva. I have a flip chart because I'm a late Virgo rising. I'm not a Pisces though. That would be where like the sun is. No, I'm a late Virgo rising. Pisces is in my 7th house. Pisces rules my 7th house because Virgo is my chart. But I'm so late Virgo rising that, you know, I have everything. Like, so Cancer is in my 10th house and Capricorn's in my 4th. So it's flipped. In other words, and if you had started with Aries, which is what we would refer to as kind of like a zodiacally correct chart. No one has an incorrect chart. But everything falls where it's at home. If you have an Aries rising and everything falls in the opposite, you're so good. Everything falls in the opposite when you have either an early Libra or late Virgo risings. And sometimes even late Libra, right? So Emily is so sweet. So she just brought me the hat. I don't know if I can wear it. I don't know if it's going to like cover my face, but that's the hat. But what I was going to say is we now have the planner. We now have the planner, and it says, I don't know if I should like close up on that. It says Black Lilith is my bestie, plan accordingly. And it's got a kitty cat on the Black Lilith symbol. We'll just call her Sadie. But that's in the Etsy shop along with everything. I'm going to try to get together like we're trying to figure out right now how to do like a discount code. I wear hats all the time, so this is quite comfy for me, but yeah, we are going to try to figure out how to do like a discount code for the community, where that's what we're trying. We're figuring everything out as we go. But the thing that I love that's in there right now, and it's like $4 and change or $5 because it's the digital planner for the moon phases. So it gives you space to write like what were your were there any outstanding emotions, physical changes, and it is which moon it is at which phase. And I know that it's going to be 2024 in a couple of months. Can't believe I'm saying that. But when you guys are looking back at like, oh, this is when somebody really, a friendship went awry that I didn't expect, or this was the day that I exploded on everyone. It's good to always go back also. Because what you're going to do is be able to map your energetic signatures. My thing is I have to be self-disciplined. I work from home, right? And so I can't plan to have a rest day on a day where there's some kind of energy where I feel like I can do a million things, and then plan a day where I'm supposed to be insanely productive when the best thing for my mental, emotional, and spiritual and physical health is to be under the covers, because typically, like during a Pisces moon for me, those wipe me out. So now I know that. And I was talking to another friend and I was like, that would be a great thing for like everybody to be able to take note of. But unless you have like astrological software, they might tell you what moon it's in. But, you know, how do you see the phases, and then how do you equate? So there's a moon planner on that, but it's digital. It goes on your iPad, or I think it can even go on your phone. Lee can tell you more about that. This is something we are doing together. And there'll be more stuff up there. There'll be some astrological stuff and some non-astrological stuff. My thing is that moon planner, that is just a phase moon planner, that's been designed for months, and then I got sick. So now it's just on sale. Yeah, it's $5, and then it just goes, you don't have to like have it around or remember where it is or right. It could just, it's digital. It just goes right on your iPad or your phone. And then if you get one of those, we don't have a pencil that's from a fruit company, even though I love the fruit company. We just ordered, Emily has like an iPad and a stylus from Amazon, so you can use your stylus and use it that way. Okay, so let's start. I do not want to turn the show into a giant infomercial, so we're done with that. If you all follow me on Instagram, then you'll know when stuff is up. That's it. I really don't want to be like over, so that's not what we're here for. I just wanted to share that that was there. So let's start with Aries. Let's look into Aries, and I'm going to see how I do. I'm going to see how I do. Because there's something I want to talk to you guys about, as far as also like when we become survivors, and a lot of the people that are drawn to this community are survivors. One of the ways that we survive are that we proudly wear. It also helps us feel like we can get through the next moment. And it also helps us feel a little less vulnerable. So we're gonna talk about that, and then that, do we outgrow that? Should we outgrow that phase? Because that warrior, those badges of honor that we wear out of pride of overcoming something, out of healing, and also out of protection, is it appropriate at some point to outgrow those, and what that looks like? Because there's not an easy yes or no answer for that. It's nuanced, as everything is. And I want to start having that conversation with you all. All right. Aries in first house placements. Thank you. I'm glad you love the hat. I'm uncomfortable, like, wearing merch the whole time. That feels not okay. Hey, TS. Okay. So we have, this is interesting, for Aries right now, and don't forget the nodes are, the North Node is in Aries right now. So if you're a late Aries degree, that North Node is hitting your Aries placements and pulling them in a direction that's good for you, that's good for the collective. So you might feel a little bit more impetus. And Mars is in Libra. So with Mars in Libra, that is squaring, or opposing rather, that's opposing your Aries placements. So there's a lot of impetus. You have Mars on the other side of your seesaw. If you have an Aries North Node like Anya, then you know that's going to feel like a lot of pull. And also, I find, we were just having this conversation yesterday. Was it with a client or was it with a friend? I can't remember because yesterday is a blur. But when you, hey, Tarot with Maddie. So when you have the nodes in your sign, what I find is that year and a half is going to be chock full of, and whether that's your North Node or your Sun or your Moon, but a significant placement. What happens is that, and I find this in life, when the lesson is happening, it can feel overwhelming. When the lessons are happening, when the shifts are happening, that's not the part that we feel like we are growing from or that we are settled in. It can take like a year or so after the nodes that you start reaping the rewards of what happened during that nodal axis that affected your sun or your north node or your moon. Right. So like somebody's saying the Taurus Scorpio north node year and a half was rough. And I am sure all the Taurus Scorpios are glad to have that out of their signs. But the rewards you will reap, and I promise you this because I know this from the Cancer North Node on me in, was it 2016 and 17? I left I walked into 2018, or was it 2017 into 2019? Somewhere around there. But 2018 and 2019, that I was like a different person. I was like a different Suzzy. But it took until 2019, 2020, when the nodes were far into Sag and Gem, for me to really settle into like, oh, okay, now if I adopt this thinking, hi Shauna, if I adapt this navigation now with this healthier outlook, because you can't unsee, unfeel, and unknow things. I mean, some people manage, but not anybody in this community. So once you see what you see during your nodal axis, and it is a lot of vision, it is a lot of perspective that happens during our when the nodal axis is on our sun, on our moon, really heavily affecting our chart on a rising. So with Aries right now, the North Node is big. I feel like the North Node in Aries suits Aries, because that impetus is second skin to them. But also you have Mars opposing on the other side of your seesaw right now on your Aries placements. So there is a lot of impetus. So when we have that drive, when we have that like not waiting, when we have that like rushing into the situation, which Aries doesn't mind, right? What can also happen is we have to make sure we're using our discernment. Tune into your intuition. So I'm not going to lie, what we have here is super interesting to me. We have a 3 of water, 3 of cups, and I'm using the Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed, the goddess that she is. And we have the 7 of Wands in reverse. Now, the 7 of Wands for me is the card of advocacy. There's somebody that you may have felt like you've had to advocate for a long time. Honestly, not gonna lie, 3 of Cups can be reunion. Now, this is either Aries, first house placements, and if it resonates, if you're just listening and you have no Aries and it hits home, then it's that your guides will get you to the messages that you need to hear. And if it doesn't resonate, don't take it on. Don't give yourself anxiety. You could be looking at a reunion here. There's somebody that you used to feel like you had to advocate for, almost like you had to protect. So I have 2 completely different situations here. One is realizing that being overprotective of whoever it was, advocating for them all the time, may have made you miss their bullshit. And when I say miss their bullshit, I don't mean like you're missing it. I mean like it went past you. It went over you could not see it. So when we defend somebody, and I tell this to parents and best friends all the time, and I've been saying this for years and years and years, not just in a professional capacity. Go ahead and tell the best friend, go ahead and tell your child that this person's no good for them. What you have done is created a crazy glue to the relationship that worries you. Because when you put somebody in the position again and again to defend somebody, what do we know now? We know that our words create our reality. Fuck my life. Of course this happened to me. That is having the nail and the hammer in your hand to disappointment. So in the same way, when we put somebody who's in love, whatever reason, whether it's a trauma response love, whether it feels like it will feel real to them. So it doesn't matter how you categorize it. So when you say to this other person, I just think they're garbage. I just think they're no good. I think what you are putting that person in a position to do is they are not choosing that other person that's probably newer than whatever your relationship to them is, right? They're not choosing that other person over this good friendship, over this parenting, over this solid love that already exists. What they are doing is they are defending their choice. What they hear is, you're so stupid. You can't pick somebody good. You're so dumb. You don't even see all their flaws. They're not just defending that person. They're defending themselves and their judgment. What you are doing is triggering every fear that says, I'm just going to pick somebody that's going to hurt me again. And they've gone through lessons and they've grown. And so now they're going to pick better. So when that time they pick somebody and everybody's like, what are you doing? They're a mess. It's hard to take because you're going to feel like, didn't I learn anything? That's more painful. Did I not learn from the last situation that hurt me is far more painful than your best friend or your parent not liking who you're with. They are defending their choice, their judgment, their intuition, and the fucking hard work they did to heal. That's why they can't hear you. The other thing is, if you are putting them in the position to say again and again, but they're so great, but they did this thing for me, but you should see them with my kids. You don't know what they went through. You should see where they came from. This is a huge improvement. They make me feel safe. You are going to make them affirm. Those are words of affirmation. And we know that words of affirmation are manifestation, right? We can delulu ourselves into any reality we want. So if you are the person that has had to defend your loved one again and again and again, has had to defend the person of your choice, the person of your heart, again and again and again, you are, my gosh, you are affirming to yourself every day why they are the right choice, and you may be missing their bullshit. It is hard to see what's wrong when you are literally telling yourself 10 times a day as you're defending them, and probably even in quiet moments. If you are with somebody where it has felt like you are constantly having to defend them, that you are overlooking all the work that you're doing, that you are overlooking how you've been caring maybe most of the relationship, and nothing's 50-50. But if it's been you carrying most of the relationship, and you think about how you're so good for them, and you haven't taken stock of how this feeds your soul, how this nurtures you, how this makes you feel safe, you're going to stop advocating for this person, and there's somebody else that you may reunite with. The other way that that's happening, maybe because the North Node is in Aries, so that's for everyone, and it's happening in some house. The other thing is, you may be advocating for somebody or being their counselor, or being their mom, or being their support, and you mean that in a really kind way, but it has made them feel a hierarchy between you two. Because the goal in a healthy relationship is partner. And maybe they feel a little less like they're partner material for you if you have to fix them, if you're constantly trying to help them. And oh my God, is Aries the advocate? And that is a common Aries moon, I will confess, that is a common problem. Let me save you. Let me help you. It's really hard to feel self-confidence and self-love when there's somebody insisting they need to save you. I hope that is making sense to everybody. Offer support. One of the most beautiful words of love that you can offer somebody is, how can I best support you? And let me know when. And then don't constantly tell them how they need to be saved. And for great Odin's beard, don't be in a relationship where you stayed with somebody through a rough time and then constantly remind them, oh, if it wasn't for me, lucky I love you. That's terrible for somebody who went through trauma and had a dark moment or had trauma manifested behaviors, especially if they're not proud of those behaviors and they're struggling to get rid of shame. The loving shame, the loving shame is a killer. There is a huge sign from your guides. I can already tell we're going to have to do a part 2 tomorrow because I'm not going to be able to get through all the signs if the messages are this heavy. Aries placements, first house placements, and for anyone that this North Node is just affecting you, or it's on your ascendant or descendant or whatever this is a very clear message to be gentle in your advocation, that you are supporting somebody that is asking for it, and that your insistent support, because Aries can be tenacious, right? That your insistent support doesn't, on an energetic level, transfer or translate like you can't do it on your own. You're not independent, right? Because the hyper independence of Aries wants to get other people independent. But if you're constantly affirming that they're not, that they need saving, that everything is cause and effect. Whether you are stop advocating for the person that you're constantly defending because everybody is like, why? Or whether you realize you have to stop telling somebody, don't worry, I'm here, I'll save you, or so lucky I saved you. Either of those, you're either going to consciously stop because you heard this message, or it's going to stop. If you hear this a year later, doesn't matter. There's going to be a shift in that for the good, and then there is a reunion. For some of you, the person you stopped defending that really wasn't being good to you in a relationship, but it felt too painful to feel like, how did I pick another person? I mean, at no point do we stop growing. So take out the finish line. That's first of all. There's a reunion either with somebody that your person of interest put a wedge between you two. Whether that's a family member or a friend. It's like that Happier Than Ever song. Paid no mind to my friends or my mom, or my mom or my friends, so I cut them off just like a kid. This could be somebody that you're like, I can't hear this anymore. And that's good. Let me tell you something. If you cut somebody off that's constantly telling you that person's no good for you, that because that's good for everyone. One, you've given boundaries to a friendship or a relationship that like that's not okay to be berating me with telling me how my judgment's no good and this person's no good, because you hear both in the same sentence. Two, if you pulled away, that gave you time to see that you no longer want to defend this person. If you're not constantly 20 times a day saying how amazing they are to defend your choice, now you have space to see exactly what everything is. You're not convincing yourself of something that's not working out for you. So you could be having a reunion with a friend, or this is this person going and somebody else coming back in. And I hate saying back in, but that's what it feels like. But there is a reunion and there is an end of advocacy in the highest good. Or hyper-vigilant advocacy is what I want to say. All right, let's move on to the fire signs and the... God, how annoying is it to sit here and watch me try to figure it out? You guys let me know. Oh, I love Mercury in shadow. It's telling me every 5 minutes that I don't have enough internet. You guys tell me, are we doing Taurus or Sag next? I'm going to pick up cards so that we can do either. I'm going to do cards so we can pick up either. Shuffling. Doing Taurus or Sag. It looks like Taurus. Good news is if you're rewatching, you can speed me up. Okay. We're going to go in regular order. Last time we did the elements. We're going to go in regular order. Today I got more votes for Taurus. Can we please get messages for Taurus today? Taurus or second house placements. It's a big message. We probably have to label Aries message as a collective message too. That felt big. Tarot with Maddie. I have an immune issue with my long COVID, and I was just... When I tell you I was down for over a month with my health in general. So that's where I was. Hey, you. Okay. I love that. Okay. Taurus. In Taurus, we just had Jupiter go retrograde. Taurus is interesting. So that new moon was trining Uranus. The new moon. Over the night, the 14th and the 15th. It was the middle of the night here. I went outside. The sky was gorgeous. Of course, you can't see the moon because it's a sliver. It's a new moon. But the stars, this sky was so bright. You can really see the stars well when it's not a full moon, actually. It's really beautiful out and very magical. But Uranus was trining in Taurus. And Jupiter has gone into retrograde in Taurus, which is also trining the direct Venus. So we have some really interesting things going on in Taurus and how it's just talking to the Virgo placements. Okay. So Taurus, and this makes sense to me, after the nodal axis, you've had Uranus in your sign for a while. Here's strength. And also everything was squaring, and all the janky stuff in Leo was squaring for a while. We have this gorgeous lady on a lion with a dolphin and a phoenix in the water. There is the infinity sign, and I feel like it's so clear that this is about the strength it took to get through the summer for Taurus. The new moon was hard. So when I see this strength card, to me, this is like, you didn't have to be a little strong. You didn't have to be a pet your lion strong. This was like riding a lion underwater. And the phoenix is present, and it has felt like forever. We have the infinity sign, which also is, you know, the lion's gate. And so it might have been particularly hard beginning of August for you. It's rest time. I think this is interesting that you're getting this card, Taurus, as Jupiter goes into retrograde. I said it last week. If you didn't catch it last week, I'm saying it again. Jupiter in retrograde is not, retrogrades aren't bad. They're a time to restructure, rethink, reevaluate. You know, when we overwhelm, when we burn ourselves out, when we just feel like I'm done, stick a fork in me, it's not just rest alone that heals us. It is restructuring what burnt us out in the beginning to begin with. So when we have the Four of Swords here, this rest, when we have Jupiter in retrograde, that is to restructure how do you say yes to opportunities? How do you prepare yourself for opportunities? How do you make your own opportunities? Stability. How do you depend on financial stability? How do you depend on opportunity coming in from financial stability? Are you, you know, there's this amazing video that's been viral for a while, I think, where there's an employee having a staff meeting, a human resources meeting, whatever it is. And they said they called the meeting to talk about his productivity. And he said, yeah. And they said, well, as of late, we noticed that the amount of work or the productivity or the quality of work has not been the same as in the past. We want to have a conversation. And he said, sure. I've come to you asking you for a raise for 3 years in a row. And 3 years in a row, I was told that it was fair market value. And that even though I was making below the average, it was still fair market value for the kind of work that I do. So I've decided to be a fair market value employee, because if you're not going to give me an incentive to work harder, I'm not going to. And it's very simple, and the woman can't say anything back. There's nothing for her to say. He's still the most, you know, productive employee there. the point is, are you the person who keeps working harder for somebody's affection? How are you creating opportunity? Rest to restructure. During this Jupiter retrograde, Taurus, rest to restructure. Reevaluate, but it's up to you to restructure. And sometimes Taurus is a little traditional. Sometimes Taurus is less likely to fuck shit up to get things moving. However, they'll defend what they have, but you know, they're not going to go out of their way to change everything upside down. They like the stability, but sometimes how you're creating that stability, how you're creating the opportunity for stability has to be reevaluated and restructured. And that's what Jupiter in retrograde is about. It is not all your luck disappearing. It is not about bad luck. How are you creating opportunity? Are you giving somebody the more of what you've already been giving them to gain their affection, to gain their commitment, to give yourself the opportunity to move into something more stable with this person? Are you working for a company that you've maxed out your promotions, you've maxed out their appreciation of you? Because it looks like you did a hula hoop routine while the hula hoop was on fire, reciting poetry, all while underwater for a while. I can feel the exhaustion. This isn't just strength card. This is strength through extreme circumstances. And this is you showing up with extreme solutions. You ever hear the expression, do the least and see who loves you? Do the least and see who loves you. Also another great saying, like, you can't give somebody more of what they're already rejecting, so they will love you, commit to you. You can't give a job more of what you've already been doing, to incentivize them to appreciate you monetarily. My Taurus. You know I love my Tauruses. I want to give you all a hug and a cupcake. Stop trying to do more of the same thing, because Taurus can like their routine. Stop giving somebody more of the same thing. You know, so I might get in trouble for saying this, but I'm going to say it. If you are a typical male identifying person and there is somebody that you like and you've been trying to buy them gifts to see like how can you show this person what you can give them to make them want you? Stop. They should want you without a penny in your pocket. Money comes and goes. If you are a female presenting person and you have been giving somebody visits when it's convenient for them, the food that follows, your body, helpful things, and you're still waiting on them to commit in any way or let go of another person, stop. Only like doing the most and still not getting what you're asking from somebody, when maybe what you're asking from them is minimal, like commitment or appreciation for the job you do monetarily, not just a thanks once in a while. what you continue will allow. What you allow will continue. What you allow will continue. It's incentive for them to not give you what you want if you keep trying harder, Taurus. It's incentive for them to not give you what your soul craves if you just keep trying harder and doing more for them. Do the least. See who loves you. It is time to rest. Now, I don't mean get in your bed and don't do shit for a week. I mean, that is the level of effort I want you to give a situation that has not been respecting or appreciating you. Because you already did the most, it's time to do the least. That could not have been clearer. Yeah, we're going to do half the signs today, and I'll do an oracle card for all the signs, but these messages are too big. I am seeing people's faces even with some of these cards, so... Okay. Let's... Gemini. Do I have Geminis in the crew today? Today's quiet in the room. But I don't know if that's allowing the bigger messages to come in. I don't know. Also, I didn't put this up until like late last night. You can't give somebody more of what they've already rejected as enough to be enough. You cannot give somebody more of what they're already not appreciating to be appreciated. Am I crazy, or do they both feel like collective messages? That could apply to anybody. I'm going to stop using cards, I swear. I said that to myself last night. I feel like I'm going to get to the point where it's just going to be messages. I'll just pull one card. It'll be messages. Okay. Yeah. Gemini, third house, Gemini placements. If this message resonates, and if you're Gemini stellium in the third house and this doesn't resonate, don't take it. Don't try to make it fit like the old pair of jeans in the back of our closets. Okay. Hi, Amber. Hey, Neha. Okay, so Geminis, listen. This is what we're doing. We have everything in Virgo is squaring, because I know that, because it's all squaring my Mercury and my MC. That new moon squared what it didn't oppose, what it didn't sit on my Pluto, was, you know, no fun for Suzzy. So I promise you Gemini placements, the Virgo placements, and, you know, when the Venus comes along in Virgo at the end of September into October, that's not going to feel bad. But the other stuff could feel a little cranky. You also have Pisces squaring. You have Saturn in retrograde, Neptune in retrograde, both squaring for a while. So while it's not been Gemini season for a while you're like, my God, after that Gemini Mars retrograde that took forever, I feel like why I should be done with any kind of shenanigans on my chart. Well, you have Virgo stuff squaring and you have the Pisces stuff squaring. After Virgo season, I said to my astrological friend, Lori Rivers, who you should definitely follow. She's amazing. She's on TikTok a lot. I we're looking at the new moon aspects, I said, my 12th house. My 12th house has been fucked with more than a Kardashian's face lately, and I am so ready for Libra season. So if you are a Gemini who gets a lot when that air season stuff starts to trine, that'll feel great. Hey, Moanne, that'll feel great because you're not crazy, even though you're like, there's nothing nefarious going on in Gemini. Why am I feeling cranky? Or like the stuff is cranky. Virgo and Pisces right now, 2 retrogrades and Pisces. Okay. Again, not that retrograde is bad, but the way that we restructure, reevaluate, and everything, the way that that comes up for us is stuff that isn't working, so that we know that we have to reevaluate and restructure. Yeah, my 12th house is fucking had it, dude. Like, I cannot wait for Libra season. It's not even funny. Especially because my 12th house also includes probably 2 of the more cranky placements. So when it's not nice to my 12th house, it's really not nice to my 12th house. It's also a reason why my health was so... Okay. So here we go. We have High Priestess in reverse, and we have the Hangman in the upright. Gemini, you may feel like your intuition is being messed with. You may feel like you're being put on hold. Your purpose. You know, it's funny because I was talking to Nicole the other day, Nicole Lilith Medium. I'm pretty sure we're going to do something this week, a live stream, but I was telling her like 3 weird things happened to me, and crickets, right? And they look like that trick on the pole. Not that I know anything about that. So she was saying, it feels like you're being put on pause. And my MC and my Mercury are in Gemini. And I was getting silence from places that I don't normally get silence from. And then now we have this Gemini reading. And it's like the High Priestess. Now the High Priestess feels like, I know something, but that's not coming, you know, if it's upside down, they may not feel like they're coming through, right? Or like, why is my intuition not like, I know this person is feeling this, why am I not getting that communication? Why is nothing lining up? Why do I feel like my antenna is off? Why do I feel like I'm not fully in my power? The High Priestess is the female version of the Magician. Did y'all know that? Not the Magician, the Hierophant. Did you all know that? It is the more spiritual... Hi, Karen. It is the more spiritual version of... intuitive version of the Hierophant, where the Hierophant's kind of more traditional. Yeah. So the High Priestess is supposed to know everything. They're supposed to be in their power the same way the Hierophant always feels in their power. So when it is upside down, you may, Gemini, feel like everything is being put on pause. And that you feel like, normally I've got this. Especially if like you can smell truth from a million miles away. You could feel like the universe is gaslighting you. You could have started a conversation with somebody and be like, oh, that's going to be something. And then all of a sudden it just went away. And you're like, what? When the High Priestess is in reverse, I don't... When Samantha is going... Or is that I Dream a Genie? Samantha's the nose wiggle, right? When either of them are doing the nose wiggle or the I combine them because I love both those shows. Those are like some of my favorite childhood memories. And nothing happens. That's what it feels like when the High Priestess is in reverse. Like, you've worked this hard to have your intuition. You've worked this hard to be able to like help your gifts to protect you and navigate you and feel more safe in this world. And it's not working. So yeah, this is third house in Gemini, but I gotta tell you, the other two messages, Karen, I know you're just coming in, have been absolutely collective messages. I just think that these are collective messages at this point. Like, what you hear, you're supposed to hear. Somebody, you could feel absolutely gaslighted and also put on hold. It feels especially like you're like, somebody said A, B, C, and D, right? Which all infers what I was already feeling. They said all of these things, A, B, C, D, and you probably even told it to somebody else. Like, they said all these things, and they're like, yeah, you're not crazy. That's all an indication of something. Which was something you were already feeling. You already felt the shift. You already felt the communication. And because you're Gemini, and because communication is often playful and witty, it's not boring to have a conversation with Gemini or somebody with Gemini placements or third house placements. It's not. It's witty, it's lively, it's playful, right? So when that is all happening, sometimes people aren't just speaking as directly. Somebody said something pretty directly and it confirmed what you were feeling, and then all of a sudden everything is just on pause and you feel gaslighted. Whether this is work, whether this is a relationship, whether this is a potential relationship, or whether this is a situationship where you feel like it was all about to turn a corner. You felt it, you knew it. Maybe you pulled cards, maybe you had somebody else, and then just bam, on pause when you least expect it. Nikki, what are you looking at? Nikki. Is there something out front? Nikki's mom, he is at the window in my office, and he is, now there goes Sadie. And so I don't know what is going on down here, but I have one yodeling, and he rarely does this. He's trying to stick he's got his face under the blinds, and he is staring intently on our front porch, FYI. It's great when you have another family member in the house, like online, to be like, hey, take care of those things. Geminis, you're on hold for some, I hate to say this and you're going to get mad, because Geminis would rather not things take forever. But you're on hold. You're on hold for some reason. And it's not birds though. Yeah, he heard her open the door and he is running. Gemini, you're on hold for some reason. That is for something has to shift before this can continue. Whatever this is. The good news about the Hangman is it's a temporary hold. It's not, you can't have this. So Geminis, if you're thinking you can't have this, or the universe put the kibosh on the thing that you would like, trust me, it's not that. But there is something that's being held from you or suspended, so that something else can develop, or there's another shift that needs to happen. Woo! Okay. And like, you might not have a lot of Gemini placements, but if you have your MC in Gemini, or the top of your chart is in Gemini, that could also feel really, that could feel like that was for you, that message. Okay. Cancers. I don't think I've ever used this deck for Cancer. We are DY. Advil, did you get my Advil? Did you get my email? I was mixing your name with the word email. Did you get my email? I was a little concerned that I was being sent to the right. I used the address that was that first came up. But I was a little worried. It felt like it might not have been sent. Of course, also, you know, the end of Mercury in retrograde. Yeah, I just feel like I'm getting collective messages for all of you guys, and they're big. Cancer, 4th house, and honestly, if this resonates, take it. And if, like I say, if you have a 4th house stellium in Cancer, but it doesn't feel right, don't take it, and certainly don't take on anxiety, if anything, if it doesn't feel good. Okay, I keep getting that YouTube doesn't have enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So I don't know how you guys are experiencing it on your end. Does anybody else feel like, so I read something saying Verizon doesn't have as much coverage anymore, but we lose coverage all the time. Like my phone goes in and out, my computer goes in and out, our TVs go, because we have it for our Verizon Fios. Like I pay for the most expensive internet so that I can stream and everything without an issue, and because I work globally. But has anyone else been having a problem with Verizon? Has it changed significantly in the last like 3 months? We are doing Cancer. Cancer, 4th house placements, but honestly, it's whatever resonates at this point. Other people are having. I don't want to switch out of Verizon because I have everything all bundled. Yeah, it's usually awesome, and it's just been not. But I read something where they like sold some of their towers to like not Cricket. Was it Sprint? I don't know. Okay. Maybe it's just East Coast, Mary. Okay, so very interesting. You know, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his tarot reading. Doesn't happen often, but of course I pulled Cancer, and normally when I'm shuffling, see, I distracted myself, which I do as Gemini Mercury often, and I was talking about wireless and internet services, and normally when I'm shuffling for Cancer, I just go, not for me, this is for my collective. I almost feel like I want to reshuffle, but I feel like that's not fair. So, I'm just going to give it to you. You have a Knight of Swords. He's in reverse. So Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords as it is comes in sometimes just unexpectedly, says the right thing. right? They can often be somebody who like shifts your, the Knight of Swords could make you take a motherfucker out of like friend zone. The Knight of Swords can just once in a while come in and say the right thing and you're like, oh, there, wasn't expected. Upside down. That is somebody passive aggressive. That is somebody who has really hard time on follow through. That is somebody who gets like hot and cold. Not just like there's conversation, there's not conversation, but I mean like sometimes they see something and you're like, that's not subtle, and then they'll get quiet. Or they'll be like, the next time you see them, they go out of their way to like be less personal, be less intimate in what they say or do. I'm going to tell you, Cancer, this person has been in and out of communication long enough and consistently enough. Nine of Swords in reverse is I'm over it. You're not checking. Hey, Jacqueline, you're not checking anymore, Cancer. Oh, man, when a Cancer is over it, good luck. When a Cancer is over it, you could have put this person back in the friend zone. This is somebody that has just, because here's the thing about Cancers. When you're talking to a Cancer and you have a little bit of a disappearance, they're going to worry. Wrong? Why are they shut down? I hope nothing's wrong. How can I help? Not this motherfucker. Not like, you're not going to assume that there's 12 other people and that they hate you now. You're going to worry about them. So when I see the Knight of Swords in reverse for Cancer, they're not jumping to conclusions. They're not going to make it about themselves, a Cancer. This is somebody who has now been consistently inconsistent. Hot and cold, passive aggressive. Almost like they want you to do the work. They want you to make the big love confession, whatever it is. Or they've just made ghosting an Olympic sport. And they come back in and it feels like, okay, so they needed to figure ghosts. That's none of my business. Cancer, Cancer is actually not that bad out of like, that's none of my business. That's none, like if you're in a relationship with them, then you're their business. But like, they're more likely to nurture than they'll judge themselves before they judge you, to be honest. They'll find reasons while other people are judging you to protect you. So let me tell you one more time for the cheap seats in the back. When a Cancer is over you, Cancer, you may be over it. And if you're not completely over it, you're getting over it. God, do I want to pull another card and see why this is getting moved out of the way? This might be why you're on hold. This might be the shift. This might be... Cancers, have you been manifesting lately? For the love you deserve instead of manifesting a certain person? Because this sure as shit isn't the love you deserve. They could be a perfectly lovely person. And the idea of if those two people get together could be amazing. But it's not getting together. Gemini is being put on hold and Cancer is taking yourself off of hold for this person. Don't put yourself on layaway for somebody that's inconsistent. If they're not making constant payments, do y'all know what layaway is? Wow, I feel really old today between my Bewitched and I Dream a Genie references to my layaway reference. Y'all know what layaway is? Okay. They have something like this for like Sephora and MAC. It's called something else now. So you pay a little bit each month. It's called something pay. I see it all the time. I'm like, oh, that's modern layaway. That's digital layaway. Or September or November. And if you didn't have the money for a big item, like say a gaming system for your kids, you could put it on layaway and they put it in a room with your tag on it. And you had to pay a little bit each month. Affirm or afterpay. Thank you, Shauna. That is layaway. So now that we have that all squared away, Cancers, don't put yourself on hold. Don't put yourself on layaway or afterpay. The difference is, though, for afterpay, I think you get it now and then you pay later. No, it's layaway. It's got to be layaway where you're putting yourself on hold. If somebody's not making, you know what they did when you didn't make your regular payments? They put it back. They put it back for anyone else to come along and grab that item. Yeah, it's layaway. Don't put yourself on layaway for somebody who's not making regular investments and to making sure no one else can have you. Because with Cancer, that's all it's ever going to be. Cancer is probably not dating 10 people at once to see who works out best. Woof! And if you are cross-watching, if a Cancer is over it, you better be all kinds of special for a Cancer to get over it. Like, on the 8 ball says outcome unlikely. Oof. Okay. Let's do Leo. Yes. Yeah, but Cancer is so patient sometimes. It depends on the other placements around. But Cancers can be, especially Cancer moons, really patient and nurturing. They want to nurture somebody through. Have you ever been sick and had a Cancer take care of you? If you are not feeling well, they're going to say, do you need the lights off? I'm just going to leave this here. You eat when you want to eat. Sleep as long as you need to sleep. Take all the rest you need. They're probably going to go find you the best blanket in the house. Cancer will give you the space and the rest you need when you do not feel well. Then, once they've done that a lot, once they're over it, good luck. Oh, I have series now, which some people are taking advantage. So if you know that you're going to see me 1 month every 6 weeks, you can buy appointments 3, 4, or 5 at a time, and the discount gets bigger the more appointments you buy. So if you're somebody who waits till the 2 flash sales, but you don't want to, or something is going on, or you want to do like healing and facilitation to redo your mindset, there's now series available when you scroll down for the appointments. Also, somebody said when you go on the booking page and it says evolutionary community, people don't know to scroll. So now it says scroll down. So just, I would love feedback. Like, did everybody not know to scroll down when you got to the landing page on the booking system? But you know, like, I just feel like people know now, right? You have to like scroll and click around things. But I changed it anyway because I want to make it as easy as possible. Yeah, Cancer will give you the space that you need. They're not going to rush you. Okay. No, it's, yeah. I was dancing on the tables with all the other friends when I was going out constantly, but I was also holding everybody's hair and keeping people from fighting and everything else. Cancer will not judge. They're just going to take care. Okay. Leo's 5th house placements, and obviously if this resonates, just take it because it seems like we're just doing big collective readings. That is interesting. Leo, do you have a love bomber right now? Let's see what else comes out with it. What else do we have for Leo? Okay. It feels like Leo, Cancer, and Gemini all have messages about they all have messages about there's knights. I don't love knights. Here's the Knight of Cups. This might be an offer from somebody. They're definitely doing the love bombing. Now listen, for some people, love bombing is absolutely... I have a friend that I don't think love bombs. I think that's how they are the whole time, and everybody keeps waiting for that to be not how they are. That's how he is, right? So once in a blue moon, you will get somebody that's not love bombing. It's just they are very mushy, and you better decide whether that's for you or not, Leo. We also have the 3 of Coins, which is usually an upgrade, a promotion, working together with somebody. It's triangulation, though. It is in reverse. Leo, there may be somebody who is trying to tell you. What I'm hearing is like, you know, baby, does he give you the attention you need? Does he tell you how beautiful you are all the time? Do you know what it would be like if you were with me? He could never. I will treat you so good. That is what I am hearing, right? This person may be getting out, not completely not out of a relationship, Leo. Now, there's either triangulation here because they're trying to convince you it's going to be fine. I'm going to be so good to you. You should leave your relationship. Or they're just out of a relationship and you're not completely convinced that they're done with it. It almost looks like a Venn diagram, if you could see. Like, well, not exactly a Venn diagram, but you get it. There's overlapping. This feels like somebody who might be trying to balance 2 of you at a time. Where normally I see the 3 of Coins as an upgrade, especially because this isn't 3 separate. There is some overlapping here. So I feel like you might have somebody trying to convince you to leave your relationship. If it's that, if you're that person, if that is your story, I'm telling you, I hate to say it, I think this person means what they say. If they're saying, I'm going to treat you so good, baby, they might mean what they say. However, my humble opinion, I'm telling you, what I would like to see you do is... Oh, the sun just went away outside. I don't know what that's about. What I would like to see you do is, if you're in a crappy relationship or something that just isn't what it was, and you want, I want you to see how this person acts when they can't get what they want right away. I want you to give it a minute. If you break up with the other person, don't just jump right into this. Don't just jump right into this. If they mean everything they say, they will wait. If they're waiting for you now while you're somebody with else and they're not pressuring you to be intimate with them, they'll wait a little longer. Let them show you who they are completely. Not when, because some people, not everyone, but some people need the validation as a trauma response, as some form of abandonment or not feeling enough to get somebody to leave their relationship. That you are so tempting, that you are so desirable, that somebody else would leave something they're already in kind of comfortably, whether it's great or not. That somebody else will risk having somebody else mad at them, so because you're so the prize. That is who we're worried about, okay? It may not be, but I want you to make them wait a little longer. When there is no one else, when that is really dissolved and they're not competing for your attention, see if they're still as Knight of Cups as they were, Leo. The other thing is, if this is somebody that's talking to you while they're still not completely disconnected from something else, tell them, I could see this all being incredible. I'm going to want you to just have, 5 minutes by yourself. I don't want you to relationship jump because I can't be the grass is greener. I want you to water your grass, not meaning your relationship grass, your grass. You see that meme all the time. The grass is not greener somewhere else. The grass is greener where you watering your lawn. That's not a relationship. That is not a give and take. I don't love that saying. But what you want somebody to do is kind of tend to their own inner work garden. Because somebody who relationship jumps constantly and hasn't had a lot of time being single might have something they have to fill within themselves, feel confident within themselves. Doesn't make them a bad person. It just makes them in a mindset and in a trauma response, most likely, where they need somebody else to validate their worthiness. And we want people to feel validated in their worthiness within themselves, so that we're not enabling, because then enabling leads to resentment, and so that we're not responsible completely for whether their existence is that never make somebody else completely responsible for your existence and your happiness. That is your job, and then it is your job to share it with somebody, add to theirs. You can add to somebody else's, you can enrich their life. Farce, that is the fairy tale. Okay. Virgo. Right? Virgo, and then I will do oracle cards, and tomorrow we'll start with Libra. All right, let's use Nike cards for Virgo. It was funny. I was watching Lana on a live, and somebody asked her if she had more than one deck because she'd just been favoring a deck. And she's like, oh yeah, I have tons, which don't we all, right? And then she's like, I have to find my penis deck. And she kept saying it, and I was like, I know that woman. She's saying peanuts like Charles Schultz, like Snoopy. But she kept saying it, so I quick got in the comments. We were laughing so hard. We were talking on the phone after her live, and I was dying because it sounded like she said my penis deck. And she just was saying it fast and turning her head. Peanuts. So I said, I wasn't sure because I have a Nike deck I wasn't. Maybe you do. I'm sure they make them. And then we were, the reason we ended up talking is because then we were messaging each other, and she meant to say link, and she said king to me. I said, I can't with you tonight. You know. So she called me, and I said, you better not be calling me to just talk dirty to me. We were laughing so loud. Yeah. Sorry. This is my Nike deck. It is nut free though. There is no actual, is there? No, there might be female. There's no male. Hi, Nikki. Okay. Virgo, I like that. Virgo, 6th house placements. If this resonates, if you have a 6th house Virgo stellium and this doesn't resonate, don't take it on, especially if it feels like it's giving you anxiety. That's not what this is for. Virgo dives first into self-examination. So you'll examine what you have to. You don't have to take on anxiety for anything else. This is interesting. Now, Virgo. We have a few more days. Today is the 16th, so we have just under a week, right? Till we're in Libra season and we can, right? We're always like, it's Cancer season, it's Virgo season, it's Leo season, right? But then when like all the transits are hitting us, we're like, oh my God, when is this the next person's turn? So we have a lovely 9 of Pentacles. You can finally start to, like, as we go into Virgo season, you are going to reap the rewards of the hard work, even of the Mercury retrograde. Listen, it's Neptune, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Venus came out, Mercury came out, right? And then we have Jupiter. And I want to say one of the asteroids are in retrograde, but that's not really what we're counting. So we still have 4 or 5 right now. We have Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter. Because Mercury came out and Venus came out. Yeah. So we still have 4 retrogrades, which, you know, that happens every year. There's a lot of restructuring, though. And with Neptune in retrograde, holy cow. Holy cow. Neptune in retrograde makes us see clearly. So it depends how Neptune... So where are your water sign placements and where are your... mutable placements. So Virgo is a mutable placement. It is opposite Pisces. It is opposite that Neptune retrograde. I kind of want to look now because I swear it's only 4 right now, unless you count the asteroids, which I wouldn't in this general sense. But let's see. So right now, yeah, actually Pluto comes out of retrograde also, by the time October hits. So yeah, we have Saturn, Pluto, Neptune. I mean, the nodes are always in retrograde. Oh, Uranus. That was the other one I forgot. Uranus. We have 5. And Chiron is in retrograde right now. But that's it. And then Pluto will come out of retrograde, go into Aquarius for a hot minute, and then go back into retrograde and not come out of It'll go direct, and it'll go permanently into Aquarius in November of 2024 and never return to Capricorn. So, but the point is, Virgo, all of these retrogrades are probably talking to you one way or another. Uranus and Jupiter are trining your placements in retrograde. Neptune and Saturn are squaring your placements. And then again, Pluto trining your placement. So all of the retrogrades are talking to Virgos. That's a lot. So Virgo has kind of felt beat up a little bit maybe, but also just like a lot of change. And like when one thing feels like it's coming in, another thing may feel like it's coming out. There's just been a lot of change. It is time now to reap those rewards. Especially, I'm going to say it again, Jupiter in retrograde. Where have you had opportunities that at the time did not seem good? Like it was the right idea. Missed opportunities. Reevaluate what your opportunities can be. Because it is time to reap what you have sown. And here's the Emperor. Virgos, if you can get a schedule together, if you can be self-disciplined, I'm going to tell you, a lot of you, this is a great time for you to start to become your own boss, even if it isn't full-time, and start to try to create a passive income, make a new opportunity. Jupiter in retrograde, which is trining your placements, is about reevaluating and restructuring how you make your own opportunities. That Emperor, I love that Emperor. This is not subtle. None of these readings have been subtle. Virgo, you have the self-discipline. You can put yourself on a schedule. You can hold yourself accountable. But this isn't just about like work. Obviously, it's always about inner work. But here's the thing that I want to say to Virgo. This card is really important. Because for Virgo to be able to reap their reward and feel like it's time to pluck the fruit, you also have to feel like it's ready and it's good enough and it's not still cooking and it doesn't need more perfection. This is being able to be proud and appreciative of exactly what you produced in this moment, not waiting for you to get a little bit better. Is it good enough? I promise you, Virgos, you can celebrate what you see could be better, because it's 1,000 times better than the mediocrity somebody is just marinating in how amazing that is, right? Somebody else is marinating in pride over their mediocrity and thinking it doesn't get better than this. And Virgos waiting for something to get a little bit better so it's okay, so it's ready. It's probably already way better than the person who is like, look at how great I am. Hey, everybody. So being your own boss, feeling more in power, feeling... Also because when we feel like we're working so hard and being so ethical and so thoughtful and everything has a point, and When I say thoughtful, I don't mean like, oh, you get me a card that was thoughtful of you. I mean, everything has its purpose and everything should serve a purpose and everything is helpful to other people. Virgo is a server, right? And so when we are waiting and then we see somebody else just kind of jump and do well, it also builds resentment within us, which is anti the vibration we need to like manifest and be in abundance. I'm going to say something, and I have a ton of Virgo. You all know that. So, but I'm going to say something. It's not for you to just jump without looking. That's not usually how Virgos roll, right? Maybe love, but nothing else. You can't then be upset or resentful of other people who jump without looking. That's none of our business. The ethics make it hard for it to not feel like our business. But that feeling like, what the actual fuck, they're like not, it makes me crazy. I have a whole thing about these shadow journals that you see everywhere on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram. And people are like, woohoo, I got my shadow journal. Listen, go do you. And people go make your bags. I have a moon journal. Like, everybody go sell what they want to sell. I don't know that it's once you have the affiliate promoting, I don't know that a shadow journal is maybe something that should have more of a guidance. Have somebody qualified to let you know how you're supposed to use it. Because nobody should go looking for shadow work. I promise you, shadow work will find you. You should only be using that journal when something happens to process. You shouldn't be actively looking. I mean, unless you've done no work ever, which I don't know anybody who's looking at shadow work journals that would come in their feed, that would come on their FYP, that would be in their algorithms if they're not already actively doing shadow work. You also, your brain, your body, your neurological system, your vagus nerve, your nervous system, all need sustained times where you can let things integrate and settle. And you could sit in the new reality of how you now function, having healed one or two things. You need some sustained time in between. You cannot be scooping out your guts every morning for breakfast. I promise you, the brain at some point will shut it down, because the brain does whatever it has to do to keep us safe. It's science. It's neuroscience. Confirmed neurological studies, trauma studies. So I don't love that, right? But I can't sit there and be mad at somebody making bank over a shadow journal. I didn't get one out. I didn't put the time into saying, hey, this is, and we're going to educate and I didn't do it. It's out, right? So like, we can't police everything, and we can't stay in the resentment, and we can't think of like, well, I have to make sure I'm not doing that. It's the same. That was my Virgo that was like, I'm not going to wear that hat the whole time. I'm not going to sit here wearing my merch. It feels grimy. And I probably will have a coffee cup soon because I want the coffee cup. Did I design it? Yeah. So I wanted a coffee cup that says that, right? But like, but it's not going to be in frame all the time. That is my Virgo thinking like, is it ethical when this community is coming here for guidance to also be selling something every 2 seconds? No. Right? But I can't also police everyone else that does it and then sit with that. It is not the vibration of abundance. This is the most, and this goes for you no matter whether you have Virgo placements or not. It's ready. You don't have to wait. Reap the rewards. Pick the fruit of your labors. It's okay. And you know what? If one of them's not right, it's still going to be okay. You can't learn anything if you never make a mistake. And if you're not living because you're holding back until everything is ready. I also have a little, and I'm saying this during the Virgo reading because Virgos can be very hard on themselves, self-critical. I know Venus is supposed to be in detriment in like Taurus and Aries, but I feel like Virgo has one of the hardest Venus signs because it's based around self-worth and they tend to be self-critical. Virgo especially, you are always being accountable. You cannot help yourself. You are going to do shadow work. The shadow work will find you. We'll go back to the very first reading I said, when you're constantly defending somebody, everything we say in repetitive form is affirmation. We construct our life with our words that we use. Period. Because of that, if you're constantly doing shadow work and looking for what's wrong with you, it's really hard to be happy about who you are. It's really hard not to be one of those people that walks around apologizing for how often they speak, what they say, if that's for somebody else. They're hyper vigilant about what's wrong with them when you are constantly looking for the shadow work, looking for what's wrong with you. Some people need to do just any. But I promise you in this community, and probably if a shadow work journal is coming, I'm not saying don't buy one. I'm saying use it when something comes up. Don't go looking every day. Because it'll feel like you'll never be able to do enough. Because we will learn and grow and evolve and do shadow work till the fucking day we die. I don't care if you're 102. It is only in this human, I'm all for whatever. There are some celebrities that I think are great. They're mostly in Marvel movies. It's probably a little biased on my part. But or Dolly Parton, Betty White, people who do humanitarian work, Audrey Hepburn, not a bad person. So my point is that when we are already accountable and already humanitarians and already servicing other people, if we stay in this idea that there is a finish line, that there's still more wrong with me, I can't have happiness, I can't have abundance, I can't have a relationship, I can't have all this stuff because there's still so much shadow work to do, that'll keep it away from you. Is shadow work important? Sure. The other thing is we're not supposed to be getting rid of our shadow or fixing it. We're supposed to learn to love it. It needs to exist. If there's no more shadow, there's no more light, people. Also science. So please be careful. And that goes for everyone. Yes, Juan. I hope you got my email too. Also, I want to check up and see how Thursday went for you. It was just our lovely Juan's birthday. So everybody say happy birthday to our Juan. I wish we could sing to you. Is that too much? I mean, you won't hear anybody but me, so we will not. It was his birthday last week and I wasn't on. But everybody say happy birthday to Juan. No singing, please. I'll spare you. Plus, I tend to love the Stevie Wonder version. Happy Happy birthday to ya. Do we have any other birthdays? Should we be doing Zoom birthdays like once a month, like we're all in elementary school? Everybody gets some Hawaiian punch, some munchkins from Dunkin' Donut. That's it. I'm a New Yorker. That's what it was when I was a kid. Hawaiian punch and munchkins. Okay. So we are now going to just pull a love message. I think that I'm going to do, did a bad thing. So when I woke up late and I realized how late I was and I absolutely had to get in the shower, I possibly didn't eat a full meal this morning, which I'm really supposed to do for my health. So I'm going to do a love reading right now, and then I will do the other 6 tomorrow. I feel like there was enough collective messages. I can do oracles, depending, but I can feel myself. I don't know if you can see it on my face, but I can feel myself just being like, okay, we are done. So I'm going to do like, this is just a love message for whoever it's for. Do I want these guys? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do like a message from your person. Everybody's got these, right? The oracle ones. And then I'm going to do one from the Kipper the dog. I'm going to do one from the Kipper deck, and I'm going to pull one oracle. And that's what we're doing. I feel like I need a Kipper card today because I feel like the energy around this, because I feel like this message has been in my head this whole time and I just want to let it out. This is not sign specific. Can I just get this love message out to whoever it's supposed to be for? This is the oracle I want. Feels like, okay, that's confirmation. So this love message is for somebody whose great love is still coming in. I got to spend Shauna's birthday with her for an hour or so that was fun. She's also got gifts up the wazoo. Okay. All right, guys. Your big love, this message is for somebody whose big love is still coming in. There has been somebody that you may have been waiting for, on hold for, a connection you can't seem to like shake. This could be an old, okay. I have main male connection and living room. So, this is an older connection, meaning not the person is older. You could have known this person well enough that you were children. I'm getting the message from them. My head isn't clear enough to make a decision right now. We have unrequited love and we have karmic relationships oracle. Orion energy, polarity, soul growth. There seems to be a conflict in this. There's a connection so strong that it feels like this has to be it. I've never felt anything like this before. I'm going to pull one more card because I feel like you have a big love coming in, and this one might be holding up the works, and I feel like you might not want to hear that, but there is a big love. There is like a happiness that doesn't feel like you've acquired the target. It feels like you're loved so much you don't know what to do with it, rather than let me love you. This feels like a let me love you situation. Karmic, main male, the connection is older, more familiar. Because you've known each other a long time, it makes the connection feel even more familiar, like it's not of this world, right? And there is just a comfort in the familiarity, but this feels like if you could just let me love you. Their head is not clear. That's not a you problem. And if you've been waiting for their head to clear, I still have unrequited and karmic. I feel something else coming in. And this isn't you asking someone else to let you love them. This is someone that's going to love you so much that it's going to be easy. Not like never an issue, never a problem, but like you don't feel like once you get them, you're going to have to constantly make sure that you can keep them. This person is going to be super authentic. Okay. I don't even feel right telling you to put this situation away. I don't even feel like I have to ask you to like, you're going to have to end that situation. I'm going to be honest. I don't feel like this is a situation that's so fully in action, in real time, a relationship that you can end it. This would feel like if you sent this person a thing saying like, I have to end our relationship, they would be like, well, we're technically not in a relationship because I didn't commit that to you because I'm a mess. So I'm not even asking you to end this. I'm asking you to pull your energy back. Does that make more sense? This is not a situation you have to let go of as far as like your engagement, because it's not been a proper, full, respectful relationship to you. I'm just asking you to pull your energy back a little bit. We have romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring, and someone from your past is returning. Now, I hate that someone from your past is returning. It's not, just so you know, I asked for what's coming next, and it's not this person. So let's just get a message now from this romantic feelings person. And then I will take one tarot. Wow. So this reconciliation person says, I'm sorry for what I said. Let's get a card from them. I don't feel like this is next week. This is going to take a while because you're going to have to feel around the new version of you. Woof. That was a spill, not a jump. You're going to have to feel around the new version of you to take this person back. As you change, other people do change also. I just feel like this is a karmic. This other relationship where you're almost like trying to get somebody to love you, like you're trying to convince them why it would be so good. And sometimes that trying to convince them is just being quiet and waiting for them. You know, sometimes you will be good for somebody else, but they're in their trauma response, so they're attracted to something that is unhealthy because that's what they're used to, because that's how their mom was, because a million reasons. You're not wrong. You would be good for them. It could be great if they could get out of their stuckness. You can't make somebody get out of their stuckness. To go back to, was it Taurus's reading? You can't give somebody more of what they weren't appreciating. You can't give somebody more of what you're already giving them that isn't making that person commit. When you do that, when you try to work on you to be good enough for somebody else, you're just giving them more incentive to not give you what you want because you keep upping the ante. This is crazy. This is like mirrored situations. We have unrequited here, and something that was unrequited is now, I feel like this is somebody that before you were physically attracted to, and there was like a spat of some sort. They were an asshole. You might have been like, I don't need this. I don't need this in a friendship. I don't need it in any. It feels like it was a friendship that almost was. And then they got sensitive. They got insecure. And this is not somebody you ever would have looked at. Like you could be in a relationship with them before. But the feelings, the romantic feelings, that's what that is then. You're going to have to pull back your energy from here, but that's not a big deal because they're not giving you back. It's not an exchange. I don't feel like this one is an exchange of energy. It's just you giving energy. If this person comes back around in 5 years, it'll come back around to you. And there won't be anything in your way. You don't have to worry about this or anything else. But there is somebody that you did not think, and I mean, take this as you want them to, like if it resonates the other way around, as far as like, there was another person where they had you in the friend zone, but I don't feel like it's that. I feel like you had somebody else there was almost a relationship because at the time you thought, this is the kind of person I should want. I keep going after these people and these people hurt me. So now I'm going to go for the person that I just should. That looks good on paper, that makes sense, but that you could not get the attraction. They got their feelings hurt. They said something really shitty and you cut them off. But they're coming back having healed. I mean, people, have you been noticing the amount of male tarot readers and male? I have said for how long now? About a year. But at least 6 months, hardcore, there is a new crop of people awakening. And there is going to be a lot of divine masculine coming in. Now, for anyone waiting on a divine counterpart, if you're a divine counterpart, doesn't matter, male, female, gender, doesn't really matter. If your divine counterpart just woke up, they have a little time before they're maybe relationship ready. When you're just waking up, it's a bit of a shit bomb. So, but we have this whole new crop, right? So like, this is somebody who's gone through a bit. They probably actually would have laughed at all of this 5 years ago. And now they're like, they feel connections. They feel, so this is somebody who has grown a little bit, but they're going to be humble enough to apologize. And there's going to be like a feeling all the way down to your thighs that you were not able to get for them really last time. Feels like the reconciliation feels like something that never came fully into a relationship, but something that like almost like, you know, grenades, hand grenades, almost. I will come on tomorrow and do Libra through Pisces. I am puttering out. I love you, now you love you, and I will see you all tomorrow. And look on Instagram. I'll put the moon planner up so you guys can see what it does and everything. I'll have an Instagram thing up about that. All right. Bye.